I come from a Christian family, and like most people, I went to church with my parents at a very young age. I always saw my parents praying, and I also believed in the existence of God, believing that He loves each and every one of us. Sometimes I was confused. It wasn't until an experience when I was 27 years old that I gave my heart to Him completely. Like many girls, I cared about my appearance, and I would often eat very little food in order to stay slim. Then I got anorexia. I think it started when I was 20 years old, and anorexia tortured me for 7 years. When I was 27 years old, I became very sick. I was treated several times, even force-fed. But nothing helped. My kidneys were failing, and the treatment was so painful that finally, I refused all treatment and prayed that God would help me. I told Him that I would live for Him if He wanted me to. I didn't think I was going to die because I had always come through. When I was able to go out, many people would look at me with strange eyes, because I was chronically malnourished. My body became so thin that I soon didn't want to go out and just wanted to stay at home every day. One night, my breathing became difficult. I felt very nauseous and my body trembled violently. I thought I would get better, but I didn't. Soon I was out of my body. I didn't go through a tunnel. I just felt like I was floating in the air. When I woke up, I was in heaven. I knew it was heaven because I had never smelled flowers like that or seen so much beauty before. I walked to my grandmother's side. It felt like she had been here waiting for me. She looked about 30 years old and she was very beautiful. She passed away when she was 70 years old. Then I saw my grandfather. He died at the age of 89. My grandfather died of cancer, and I know he was in great pain when he left. Now I am very happy to see that he is living a happy life. Then my grandmother asked me if I wanted to go see Jesus. I yelled out, "Yes, yes." When I saw him, I cried. It was like a child being bullied outside and coming home to hug his mother and cry in anguish. I could feel his compassion for me. He comforted me when I told him how indifferent people around me were and how I was suffering from anorexia. He told me that he knew all of this and that everything would be fine. I said things I probably shouldn't have said. I said to him, "You are a very handsome man." He just smiled. Then I smiled back. What a wonderful time that was. I noticed his appearance. He had dark brown hair and brown eyes. Another thing that really struck me as well was that he was surrounded by people and I was able to walk right up to him and talk to him. In real life it was completely different. He asked me to go back and tell everyone what I saw. I said, "I will." Then he hugged me. I felt surrounded by love. I could feel the power from his hug. Then I felt that I was falling fast. I was back in bed, I was back in my body. I was thrown hard. I felt disappointed that I had left him. Back to the cruel world. I still felt dizzy. I decided to lie down and rest. The next morning, when I woke up, I felt very hungry and I ate a lot. For the first time in years, I ate so much. I was able to enjoy the food as well. That day, the doctor checked my body and did some tests to prepare me for future treatment. A few days later, He called and said he wanted to come see me. He told me, somehow, my kidneys are back to normal function. I was shocked. After this, my condition only got better. The doctors still can't explain it. Only I knew why. Jesus touched me. He touched my soul and my body and healed me. When the doctor saw me again, I had gained a lot of weight. I am now in good health. I will never forget having seen Jesus. Never. I felt special because I was touched by him and was able to talk to him. I have never encountered anything like that here. When I finally got up the courage to tell my mother, she didn't believe me at first. I knew that Jesus said to tell others. When I told my mother I had seen my grandfather, I described more details about him. She was amazed. I asked her what had gone wrong. She said, I must have heard it from someone else. I told her that I hadn't heard anyone talk about Grandpa. Grandpa was already very old when I was born. I didn't know anything about him. No one ever told me anything about him. So I couldn't have known that. But she still doesn't believe I went to heaven. I also saw the pets I had in heaven. A dog I had as a child that I loved very much. They have a janitor. A person who takes care of all the animals. If someone asks me if animals go to heaven when they die, I would have to say, yes. This is my story. If I die, heaven will be my home and I will be reunited with my family and Jesus again. Many people think I am crazy. But I don't care. I know that God is all around us. He loves each and every one of us.